This is Force 13 Live. Hello, it's 8 o'clock. My name's Nathan Foy, and the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Centre is out. The intermediate advisory that we were telling you about not long ago. Latest, it's still 110 miles an hour. The pressure's 948 millibars, moving slightly east of north at 5 degrees, heading at 12 miles per hour. 55 miles east-northeast of Jacksonville Beach, 105 miles south-southeast of Georgia. All coastal warnings have been discontinued south of the Flagler-Volusia County line. Hurricane warnings remain in effect for north of the Flagler-Volusia County line to Surf City. A hurricane watch is in effect for north of Surf City to Cape Lookout, and a tropical storm warning is in effect for north of Surf City to Duck and Pamlico and Albemarle Sounds. Want to also bring you, before I bring back the team, the latest flash flood concerns. The National Weather Service in Charleston 10 minutes ago issued a flash flood warning for portions of Charleston County, Dorchester County, Berkeley County and Colleton County until 1:45. Some locations that will experience flooding include downtown Charleston, North Charleston, Mount Pleasant, Somerville, Goose Creek, Hanahan and McLennanville and Edisto Beach. Additional rainfall amounts of 5 to 8 inches are possible through 1:45 a.m. There were flash flood warnings in effect for Chatham County, Liberty County, Long County, Bryan County, McIntosh County, all in Georgia, and Beaufort County and Jasper County in South Carolina. You're up to date. This is Force 13 Live. I'm Nathan Foy, joined by the Skype team for another hour here at 8 o'clock. Hello.
Good evening.
And evening from David over here on the east coast of Australia, and we have lockdown down on the east coast, a couple of hours from my HQ. Lee up there in Scotland, and he has Michael.
His sister up north.
And Hank and Strat, who are also
here.
Yes.
Here as well.
So, you're looking at the camera for Myrtle Beach right now, where the conditions are somewhat inclement. It's good to see that no one's out there. There's a hurricane warning in effect for this location. And over to Hank, you wanted to speak.
Yes. Really quickly, I just wanted to reiterate what this advisory from the NHC is stating. I'm saying that Matthew is still the intensity has not changed. It's still 110 miles an hour, 948 millibars, moving to the north at about 10 miles an hour. Forecast cone will not change, and it hasn't changed, and it will not change for another 3 hours. If I can refresh, then I could read out actually, I'm going to go ahead and read out what the public advisory says. Yes, pretty much the same thing. Located about 50 miles east-northeast of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, and about 105 miles south-southeast of Savannah, Georgia. And as Nathan stated, the flash flood warnings have been extended to cover a good chunk of Georgia and South Carolina, and I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow to see that be extended all the way up to North Carolina, some parts of southern North Carolina. But that depends on whether or not the storm decides to move a little bit closer to the coast or not. Radar is saying that all along the east coast of Georgia, England, rain band extending all the way to the how do you pronounce that? The Vidalia and Hazelburst area, the main rain band, with some of the actual outermost rain bands extending as far east as Midgeville, Tufton, and Vlasta. Atlanta, you're in the clear probably for the system. There is a little bit of a rain band. It's related to Matthew, yes, but it's by far the most outer of the rain bands. Pretty good band moving into Charleston right now. Moving through Charleston right now, so they could be seeing some pretty heavy rains there. And the storm is still, over 100 miles away from Savannah still. Rains bands are extending as far north. Actually, there's one band extends as far north as Raleigh, which is interesting. But that's just like a little tiny, barely even classified as a wind. And then that land extending to Columbia, almost to Columbia, South Carolina, almost to Greenville, and the Spartanburg.
Okay.
So, yes, that's basically what the rain is doing. The eye is still not looking too hot,
No.
but it's getting some. I'm not entirely sure what's happening on the southern side of the eye. They might be some dry air or just a bit of yellow replacement cycle.
I think it's the shear hang that's making the southern side of the eye wall not looking so hot.
Yeah, that's probably it. I wasn't thinking that shear. But yes. Comment. Let's see. That one creeper plays. Is it correct that Matthew will turn back to Florida and he has a tropical depression?
Possibly.
Not necessarily hit Florida. That's what the NHC said.
The NHC say it'll move over the northernmost Bahamas, but that's 5 days out, and there's still a lot of uncertainty, and things could change a lot yet.
The Colombian asked, do you guys think eastern North Pacific cyclones are going inside Mexico? Maybe, maybe not. I haven't really been paying attention to it.
Doesn't look like at the moment.
Yeah, probably not. Let's see.
That's about it for now, I think.
That's basically about it, yeah.
So I'm sure someone here has something to talk about, so who'd like to go next?
I was just going to say...
Strat first, then
I'll let you go right after, don't worry. Sorry if I cut you off at all, but I know we're talking about a bit about the uncertainty of the track. I just want to show the true scope of that right now. Here's the spaghetti plot. I mean, right until Charleston, roughly, it's all right.
Oh, it appeared briefly, but it just disappeared again.
Nice.
It does that quite often. You're showing us the shear moles. I'll try and get it up on my own screen to show everyone the latest. And we'll let Lachlan speak first, and I'll let you know when we've got that ready. Lachlan, go.
Okay. Well, I was just looking at the river observations, and they show that. Excuse me. And they show that there's obviously some rivers that are in major flood level, like Dunn's Creek. That's at 4.21 feet, which is major. I think it's St. John's River at Buffalo Bluff. Excuse me. At 3.57 feet. Where is it? Deep Creek at Spuds. That is at 5.35 feet. These are the only. I'm only saying the ones that are major. So there's major flood levels. So there's not many.
You mentioned the St. John's River. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, St. John's River at Racy Point is 5.04 feet. St. John's River at Shands Bridge is at 3.66 feet. Where is it? Okay. Julington Creek at Old St. Augustine Road, that's at 3.9 feet. These last two are a bit weird because they jump a lot. Okay. Nassau River near Tisona, apparently at 17.8 feet. Okay. And then this last one, I'm positive this is an error. Atlantic Coast at Sea Camp Dock on Cumberland Island is at 215.86 feet, apparently.
Oh my. That shouldn't be possible. Let's go to Strat. I've got the models up on the screen here.
Nathan, an apology. I had my 12-month-old grandson on my lap. So
I see.
He said hello.
Hello. Strat, are you there? Okay, I've got the image, but we've lost Strat. So there's the latest wind shear plot, and you can not the wind shear, but the model plot, and you can see how most models still say that it will curve. Some of them suggesting it will go back northeast away from land towards Bermuda. I guess that's dependent on Nicole, how destroyed Nicole will get by wind shear over the next few days. But that's the latest chart there. 8:10, you got any questions for us? Start your message with Force 13 and we'll get back to you. And we'll be here till midnight tonight when we will finish our coverage. This is our 101st hour of coverage of the storm, and we're going to be ending soon in the next 4 hours, but until then we're going to continue to provide you the updates. David?
Yeah,
Oh, Strat, hello.
Yeah, I just realized I was muted.
You might want to try again then with a better explanation than me on the
Yeah, I was just gonna say
model plots.
Yeah, because a couple of people are asking, like, is it gonna come back towards Florida? I mean, not only is it too early to tell, but if you look closely at the spaghetti plot, the tracks actually go off the screen once you get towards the Yucatan. They go off, like, you know, the regular graphic itself and onto the rest of the screen if you look down at the bottom.
That's right.
Even out on the eastward parts as well, so that's just an example of how odd it is.
I wouldn't be paying attention to as far out as the Yucatan, though.
Yeah, that's for certain, but just to show the true craziness of what could happen.
Sorry if there's a little bit of background noise. The dog I'm dog sitting right now, his collar is making a lot of noise. I think I might take the thing off. Yeah, I'm taking the thing off.
Kevin asks, any risk for the North Carolina Raleigh area?
I will double check.
And I just had a conversation with mute on.
I'll double check. I'm pretty sure Raleigh's further inland.
Raleigh or Raleigh, I don't know.
It's Raleigh. The only real concern I can say about Raleigh, you could get some stronger wind gusts, but I would say the biggest concern would probably be rain. Expect, like, you know, anywhere from like 4 to 8 inches in general.
It is under a flash flood watch.
Yeah, because in particular where they are, Matthew's rain or you know, convection as it starts to get sheared off will, you know, get pulled into that region in general. So.
And some areas in Virginia as well could receive some flooding. There's flash flood watches for Virginia Beach and for Norfolk, and also for, I think it's Franklin. So flash flood watches there, and it looks like conditions getting a little bit worse over in Myrtle Beach right now. The wind seems to be more persistent in these last few moments. Don't know whether there's a rain band coming on shore or something.
David?
Matthew's now officially over Georgia coastal waters. Wind still 110 mph and 8 p.m. local time.
Yeah, moving ever so slightly east of north, but those rainfall amounts are going to increase along the flash flood warning areas, and it's after dark now, and it's the worst time for flooding to occur because you can't even see the hidden danger that is the rising surge.
Yeah.
Especially if there's tornadoes, you can't see them either.
That as well.
I will double check to see exactly where those tornado warnings are again, really quickly. Again, if you originally look at it and you just take a glance, you actually won't see any of the tornado watches because they're overcolored by the hurricane and tropical storm warnings. But if you click on it, you click on the option. Currently, there are 3 counties until midnight Eastern that have hurricane watches in Georgia. So in southeast Georgia, you have Bryan, Chatham, and Effingham County. So the tornado watches have actually extended a bit further south. And then in southeast South Carolina, you have Beaufort, Berkeley, Charleston, Colton, Dorchester, Hampton, and Jasper counties. And if you click on it, you also see all the cities included. Quite a wide span of cities, but for 7 counties, that's something you'd expect.
David.
This has just become available. Another view inside the eye of Hurricane Matthew from WP3D Orion or NOAA43 and posted by NOAA Hurricane Hunters.
Is that inside Matthew's eye that we can't see?
Yes, it is. Have you got it on the screen?
Yeah, we've got it.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a picture. So they're inside the eye.
Matthew does have an eye.
More questions.
Actually, you can see the clouds on the top.
I see what you mean. Maybe that might not have been today. I don't know. More questions.
Yep.
Do you think there's a possibility for another hurricane to form close to Florida like after Matthew, and also may it be hard? Well, it won't. Apart from Matthew, it won't be anytime soon. At least not in the next 5 to 10 days. But in the future, you never know with the late season. But usually it doesn't happen. But sometimes it can at this time of year, and we'll certainly be watching. But I would be hinting at maybe this being the last storm for Florida this year, but who knows, there could be more yet. What is going to happen to Nicole, because Matthew's getting closer? Well, Nicole's getting sheared to bits right now, and if it weakens so much, it might not survive at all, and what's left of it might get sucked in by Matthew or pushed away and thrown about, and Nicole will be undiscernible. But the official forecast at the moment calls for it to move towards Bermuda and strengthen later on when Matthew clears the area. And I think that's... will the flooding be like the flooding in York and parts of Yorkshire 1 or 2 winters ago in the UK in the Carolinas? Quite a comparison there. That's a difficult question. I'd suggest it would be more widespread than that. Could Hurricane Matthew gain a bit of strength, or is it impossible? It is possible, but unlikely.
Yeah. I was just going to say and mention to the odds of Matthew absorbing Nicole. I would say not too likely, because remember, as Matthew gets closer to Nicole, it's also supposed to be a weakening system.
They'll probably be similarly intensity.
Yeah. So they might just repel each other.
Well, that's what happens when the systems get cut. They suck each other's energy.
That's the best guess right now. When they're equally strength, they are like magnets that are switched to the repel side.
And someone's asking what's the current status. I would assume it's Matthew's status. If you go to the National Hurricane Center, you can see the latest advisory.
Still a category 2,
it is
10 miles an hour.
Yep. And surprisingly, still pretty low pressure, 948 millibars. We'll get the latest info on that pressure. Yeah, pressure will get more info soon because Recon's heading back from it seems they even went around towards Tampa to see the extent of the tropical storm force winds. They're
going back.
Yeah.
I think they're going back to Tampa because they're ending the flight.
Oh, no, they're still looping back. I think they might just went to get some fuel.
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's
or just test the extent of the storm force winds.
Yeah. The Colombian asks, do you think the death toll is going to increase in the next couple of days? In Haiti, certainly. It could easily get thousands. I hate to say it, but
I don't really want to say prediction, but if I wanted to for the US, I'd suggest maybe a couple of dozen or a bit more.
Yeah, probably. Haiti, we can't really know for sure, but unfortunately that number will end up being pretty high.
Oh yeah. More questions. What's going on in the Pacific at the moment? Well, depends which part of the Pacific. We've got Tropical Storm Air, which could become a typhoon if it isn't already. I've not been checking that very often for obvious reasons. I can tell you that Japan are currently calling it a severe tropical storm, nearly a typhoon. In the Eastern Pacific, which might have been what you were wanting to know, I'm sure one of you guys can fill people in on that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just checked it. There is an area of concern. It looks pretty far away from any nearby land, but 20% of chance of development in the next 2 days, but 70% in the next 5 days. So, not too much action right now, but there might be soon enough.
Yeah, checking what's going on with air, or however you pronounce that storm's name.
I like clicking at red.
Yeah, 10 minutes, the same winds are at 70 miles an hour. 1 minute is at 65 miles an hour. But ATCF is still saying that the system is not yet a typhoon, and I don't think it will become a typhoon, to be
Well, the
honest.
JMA doesn't say so either, so
Well,
it mustn't be.
well, yeah, the JMA officials, but ATCF is
JTWC say it will get to 80 miles an hour.
According to the JMA, it's at 975 HPA. Maximum wind speed near center is 30 meters per second or 60 knots. And it's almost stationary. It will stay almost stationary for the next, 21st.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, HPA
2 days.
For those who
Same
don't
as
know,
with ours.
Lachlan brought it up. Basically, it's the same thing as ours. Pretty much. That's basically.
It's actually looking at Air's possible track. Just to point out that component Air is absolutely massive.
It's always massive for the Western Pacific strat.
But it's moving so slow that it's just...
Yeah. It's moving slowly, yes, but the cones in general for that the JTWC release are huge.
You can hear the winds getting up again at Myrtle Beach right now. They're under a hurricane warning.
Yeah, I can hear that as well.
No one's out along the area there, and rightly so. Things could get a little bit hectic soon, but we'll also be watching the waters. High tide in this location, I believe, is 3 AM. We'll be on the air until midnight, and then we will be ending our formal coverage. However, we will continue to provide regular updates on the Force 13 YouTube channel. If you want to follow that, you're more than welcome to, and we provide updates on storms all around the world. But we've been doing a special on Matthew for the last 4 days. We've been broadcasting for over 100 hours, and as far as I know, we've been doing a good service. That's what people keep on telling us, and we thank everyone for those comments. And that was always our aim, and it's nice to see that it's been fulfilled, at least for the majority of people. Who'd like to speak next?
And following on from Nathan, Force 13 does have its Caribbean channel along with the extra channel, and please monitor those 2 channels. We might, there are other team members that will probably undertake live streaming, but we do have capacity across those 2 channels. But as Nathan said, it's been a team effort. We've enjoyed bringing the updates, the warnings, and Matthew, he's still on the radar.
It's still going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's even though the storm is probably it hasn't made, it's not going to make a landfall in Florida, at least it's found.
Very unlikely.
Luke's still uncertain of what how that's. The Colombian asks, do you think there's a chance for a hurricane to form near Colombia? I don't think so. I know Marcel would like that, but they just had a hurricane, so I don't see why anyone would want that.
They just had a Category 5 almost hit them.
Yeah, well, don't
Category 5.
Don't call it Cat 5. How about we not call it Big F5?
No.
No, please not. It's maybe for at least half an hour, but that's about
strong
it.
Category 4. I'll go with that one.
A very strong 4. I don't
Same
know.
here.
We're gonna have diverging opinions on that.
Let's stay
It'll
on
be
top.
like the Patricia, but just different.
Well, that one's more clear cut, but we'll move on swiftly.
Yeah, let's
There
really-
was
Okay.
that disturbance over the Lesser Antilles, which is sort of moving into the Caribbean, but there's very little left of that from what I last saw, which was several hours ago. I don't know whether that may have changed. Would anyone like to bring up a wide Atlantic loop for us so that we can look at everything that's going on right now?
I'll get that up.
That'd be a good
yes.
idea. Take a look at Nicole as well.
Yeah, I have
Yes.
a lot of maps.
Yeah. In the meantime, while you're doing that, I'd just like to do a quick mention, actually, that not only are some miles starting to shift away from the full loop back into, the Bahamas and Florida, there's actually some that, pull it off the coast and then have the ridge, instead of, weakening and disappearing, actually re-influencing Matthew again and pulling it, north and east, and eventually turning towards Nova Scotia and the Canadian Maritimes. Too far out, but that's a 5-day forecast in general with these two models, the HWRF and the GFDL. They both pull Matthew there as a monster extratropical storm, and they also try to drag Nicole along with it.
Yeah. So here's the whole North Atlantic shot. This is from at least 45 minutes ago, so it's recent. Here's Matthew, of course. Here's Nicole here's the center right here being sheared pretty heavily. Here's that one disturbance Nathan was talking about.
Way down there, sort of off the screen almost.
Yeah. And other than that, not really a whole lot going on.
Yeah, disturbance not looking good, but it could deliver some rainfall to Colombia at some point.
Yeah, some that they don't need in the northern tip.
Yeah, let's just hope it doesn't go to Haiti.
Oh gosh, don't imagine.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there's actually another image that David sent that I think I'll pull up for a second. Of Haiti. Here it is. I don't see there is no direct source that I see. If you want that, we could probably find out from David soon. But this is Haiti.
I don't see any image.
You don't? Oh my god. Perfect.
Yeah, it is Haiti.
Yeah, I already got it. I got it.
Oh, okay.
I just pulled it up right here. I think this is the image. Was this the image you were looking at?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. So yeah, here's basically the scene in Haiti right now.
And
yeah, not looking
good. You can see the water line there as well. And I'm guessing that wasn't even near the high impact zone.
And you can actually see it on that tree in that house where the water was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it, like it got up to here.
And I don't see any other lake or river or ocean there as well, so this might just be purely rain.
Maybe. I don't know about that.
It could be right behind the camera.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. So there is coconut trees there.
This is basically the current scene in Haiti right now. The death toll right now is up to 842 in Haiti. Or maybe it's risen, but across the storm has caused a total of 852 deaths. 4 of those in Florida, 4 of those in the the Dominican Republic.
Bahamas.
1 in the Bahamas, 1 in St. Lucia, and 1 in Colombia. And I think, 2 in the Bahamas. Excuse me. So yeah, adding all up to 852, and that number could get to 1,000 in the next couple of days once the reports continue to come in. But communication with Haiti is relatively poor, considering that they're a poor country in general. So you may never know the actual costs of the system, both economically and, I guess the death toll as well. You may
and the Bahamas too. I'd assume they would have lost communication as well.
The Bahamas, we have better communication with them because one, they're closer.
So the death toll could be higher in the Bahamas.
Yes, but not.
Some of those islands we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we've heard. I mean, have we heard much from Nassau?
Not much, but maybe we're not seeing much, not hearing much.
What about Cuba?
That too.
Cuba, oh yeah, that's another place where we had. I think the 2 deaths were in the Bahamas. Excuse me, the 2 deaths were in Cuba.
Oh.
The Bahamas, we have no deaths.
That's a surprise.
Let me just check that. Actually, not check that. Let me just check the comments real quick. Let's see. what's your criteria for modern? Probably any time within the 21st century. Or, well, for me at least, maybe 19.
Yeah, they're responding to someone else.
Yeah. Don't compare the system to Katrina. The deadliest modern hurricane on record would be Mitch. Deadliest hurricane on record in the entire Atlantic would be the Great Hurricane of 1780. And Mitch is, I believe, the second deadliest.
That's right.
Alright.
That hit the Yucatan, didn't it?
That hit Honduras. Basically sat over Honduras. As it made landfall as a Cat 1, but it was a Cat 5.
Yeah, it rapidly weakened into a Cat 1.
It rapidly
for landfall.
So it was moving so slowly.
Because it slowed down and then and then it finally moved over land.
Unprecedented.
Your microphone's fading out a little bit, Hank.
That's typical. So if I sound like I'm underwater or muffled or whatever, then that's why. Joaquin is not a very good comparison to the system. Yes, it did move. Yes, it did move to the Central Bahamas, but you know that's basically all symptoms. And I guess the time of year as well. Anna is even worse of a comparison. Let's see.
Oh dear.
Let's say something actually interesting. I'll just bring this up quickly. If my screen share can work some magic for once.
Maybe not.
Any luck?
No. Not at all.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah.
It's just the
frustrating.
It was the GFS simulated IR on tropical tidbits. It actually does show as the storm, really gets its convection sheared off to the north with that trough kind of shearing it off. It does actually show a lot of that convection getting pulled actually through all of the east coast of the United States. The heaviest definitely in North Carolina, but it does show that heavier rain actually getting up into the some of the other mid-Atlantic and New England states as well.
Okay.
So something interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting up.
Has there been much word?
Go ahead.
Has there been much word about Bransby?
No, not really.
Bransby, I think that probably dissipated by this
Going
point.
safely out to sea, south of Madagascar. If anyone wants to know a little bit about what's going on elsewhere in the US right now, there's a lot of windiness going on to the southwest of Alaska, along the islands. In pretty much the whole of North Dakota, there's a freeze warning, and for part of Minnesota as well in the northwest, and some frost advisories for central and southern Minnesota into Wisconsin. There is what appears to be a red flag warning for central Mississippi, extending into southeastern Arkansas and northeastern Louisiana. Just verifying that is a red flag warning, yes. So that might be a concern. And then of course along the east coast, all the flooding and hurricane related stuff. And there's still some flood warnings or advisories, I think they're warnings, in southeastern Kansas. Yes, flood warnings there. And also what appear to be flood warnings for parts of Montana too.
Yep.
So that's the latest.
There's actually a flash flood watch, if I'm not mistaken, a couple little areas, or just a flood watch actually in Washington State in a couple places.
Yes, that too.
And there's a red flag in California.
Southern Cali.
Yes, that as well. A small area there, of course.
Since when did the red flag appear?
I saw the red flag in Southern California.
I think that's to do with bushfires, isn't it?
I saw the red flag in Southern California for actually a few hours now. Earlier, the red flag in Mississippi was actually there was actually a good chunk of that in Alabama as well. It looks like it shifted west a bit.
Alright. I'm trying to find any latest news, but none at the moment. I was going to bring to you at one point the current status of the power outages in Georgia. I'm just trying to get that to you now, and I'll get back to you. Oh no, I think we have something here. there's not a huge amount. Oh yes, there is. 9,000 customers out in Camden. That's nearly 2/3. Chatham, it's 41,000. That is about a quarter. Effingham County, it's 642. Glyn, it's 30,000. Macintosh, it's 3,000. And other areas are reporting less. One or two in the hundreds, but most of them in the tens or less. In Georgia and South Carolina, a lot of places with outages as well. I'll get you the latest on that shortly too.
I actually found a map that you can use to see, at least in Florida, how many people are without power.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, since my screen share decides to be dead right
I
now,
was on that yesterday, indeed.
Yeah, I put the link in our call chat, and I'll also put it in the screen chat.
Just want to say for South Carolina, Beaufort County, 11,000 out of power, 5,000 in Charleston, a total across the state of 18,500. And you're looking at Myrtle Beach, which, by the looks of things, still has power. At least that section of it does.
It's been a while since I've joined here.
Okay. I'm just gonna look the comments real quick. Exactly. No, never mind. That's not really a question. That's an interesting question right there. The Colombian asks, getting out of hurricanes, what do you think about Trump's tape? No more, please.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started.
Yep.
I've heard about that.
Don't get me started. CHD returned. I wonder if any personal tales of the Great Hurricane exist. No one is alive to tell you about the storm, I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are some records from the storm.
Yeah, that is something I'd have to research for you. But interestingly, in Hurricane Week this year, we're doing a feature on the Great Hurricane of 1780. We're counting down the top 100 storms voted by the public.
Nathan, how complete is Hurricane Week? How complete is Hurricane Week?
7%. But Hurricane Week is going ahead at the end of November, and that is a documentary series that will be going on for a whole week, and that will be on the Force 13 channel. Great Hurricane is included, so might find something new. Might find out something new during that.
Yeah, progress right now has come to a halt because of Matthew. That also goes for the what might have been.
Yes, we're still watching.
Animations, those are still going on.
Yeah, obviously, when we're not doing storm updates, we're doing animations, but the storms come first, the current storms come first, and that's what matters most, and that's what we're doing right now.
Storm first. That's the new saying.
Okay. So, yes, like Shark recap this, I guess. You can say that. The Colombian says, since Matthew will be weakening to a tropical storm and opening depression early next week, it won't be large enough to absorb Nicole. And you can't necessarily say that for certain. Probably won't weaken to a tropical storm until at least, maybe Monday, or Sunday even, maybe. But the storm will definitely be, I guess, large enough, like if you mean by large.
Yeah, I think the models are trending, though, in that they'll be too far away from each other for the whole duration.
Yeah, I was just kidding there. It's probably going to be too far away.
Well, it's 8:39, 8:40 even, and we're looking at Myrtle Beach, and it's still not too windy there, but that may change over time. Though I don't think we'll see too much of a difference between now and midnight. But we might see the water rise in the background. Yeah, every so often you can just about see the waves coming through, and it doesn't look like they've moved very much in the last few hours. We'll keep our eyes on that. Obviously it seems to be raining, no surprise. It doesn't seem to be particularly torrential yet. No, but things might change there. That's South Carolina. Obviously there's places further south that are under flash flood warnings. and people in those areas should be taking those flash flood warnings very seriously. That's why they've done mandatory evacuations, because the last thing you want to be, the last place you want to be is in a flood-prone house in the dead of night near a storm surge from a Category 2 hurricane that was once a Category 4.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. What other questions?
None yet.
Well, let's
I'm actually
see.
doing the math to find out how many power outages there are in Florida right now.
Carlos asked, what do you do if you have a flash flood warning? If you have a flash flood warning, that means flash flooding is imminent in the area that you live in. So what I would do
I'll
is...
read out what the officials say. Precautionary preparedness actions for a flash flood warning: move to higher ground immediately, because it's a dangerous and life-threatening situation. It certainly is for Egan's Creek, Amelia Island. And a flash flood warning means that flooding is imminent or occurring. If you're in the warned area, move to higher ground immediately and take immediate precautions to protect life and property if you're living along streams and creeks. It is pretty much a guarantee that it's going to flood in those areas, essentially.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. I would agree.
And Hank, can you look for any information a curfew now in force for Florida Beach region?
Yeah, there are a number of curfews in force along the Florida coast. I don't know exactly where those are, but reports of people being arrested for breaching those curfews.
Oh my, okay. Well, that's not good.
And the beach is a no-go zone.
That's why the bridges are closed.
Yeah. I just finished the calculation. I just added everything up. 1,242,365 customers without power. Keep in mind that's customers. So that's like, households or buildings that are out of power. That does not include the actual amount of people. So to get an actual good number, multiply that by at least 2 or 3.
Interesting.
Okay. Barking dog again. Yes, my house is very chaotic, and it will never be unchaotic. Yeah, my house is pretty, chaotic. Anyways, I already said that.
Well, Matthew is still a Category 2, 110 mile an hour winds. The pressure, is Recon getting a new pressure yet? The Hurricane Hunters?
It doesn't seem like it right now. They're still, hovering around Tampa Bay, it seems.
So maybe they are trying to land.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been circling there for a good half an hour now. So, what we know is it's still 9:49. That's the latest that we know of.
The pressure.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get another situation update in 15 minutes at the start of the next hour. And any more news, David?
No. It's slowing down a bit, but
Right.
nothing for the National Weather Service.
Yeah, there haven't been any more warnings coming into effect, just all those warnings that we've told you about. There's still a tornado watch in effect until midnight, and those flash flood warnings which are in effect, some of them till, was it 9:15 or something like that, or the flood warnings in Florida. But the
9:15 I think it was.
The latest one for South Carolina is in effect until the early hours.
Yes.
Whose phone keeps on going off?
I don't know.
What?
I will say, since my screen share doesn't work, I actually found an interesting image that someone posted on Twitter. If any of you guys want to open that up and show the stream this image, it does show, even in St. Augustine, where the worst of the storm hasn't necessarily been yet, how much damage this storm really is causing. So I don't know if you can pull it up, Hank or Nathan, but that's just a taste.
And there's been lots of David's posted lots of pictures as well. I see.
Yes, he has.
It's just a Twitter account. It's not actually like an image.
Oh wait, what?
It's not an actual image. It's just a link to the account.
Oh, whoops! I nailed that.
And some significant erosion. Where's that, David? He's not here.
Let me try to find it then.
Did I not just hear a band in the background?
Sorry?
I've got a clue.
Oh wait, I got it.
Is it a video where a tree falls over?
Anyway, people asking, does hurricane season end in November? It ends at the end of November officially, but you can have off-season storms.
Like we had one this year with Alex.
Yeah.
I think we actually had two. I think, was it Bonnie or not?
Okay,
Bonnie?
well, Bonnie, okay. The end of May really shouldn't be counted.
Yeah, that's true. After
So-
the Pacific season starts, it might as well start here.
Yeah, Eastern Pacific starts May 15th. Maybe both should start at May 15th.
Yeah, that's a talk for another time.
I guess that would make sense.
Holy moly.
What's
What
that?
happened?
Oh, it's just that hashtag you shared a short dinosaur video, because video shows flooding in St. Augustine, Florida as a result of Hurricane Matthew.
Yeah, I was actually trying to get that image in particular. That's the one I was actually trying to send. The one I found was a picture, but I'll actually send the picture. I just screenshotted it and cropped it, but the person that posted it's still there. There it is. It's in our chat if anyone can pull it up. So,
Oh no, it's not like that, but it is, wait a minute, it might be further on. No, this is just someone, on the ground view of the, on the ground, and I think it's storm surge that's come through.
Yeah,
looks
and
like
by
with
the
the already
way,
saturated.
if you didn't know already, the way into Savannah on Interstate 16 is closed all the way to Adabel, by the looks of things. Closed, and some bridges are closed. For instance, Route 80 to Tybee Island is closed, and the bridge, or at least one of the bridges, Route 17 from Savannah over Hutchinson Island, is also closed.
And we have news out of Jacksonville. Emergency services are currently attending a structure fire, and many calls in city are not yet seeing a responder. Many medical assists. So that's out of Jacksonville.
Okay, well, 11 minutes to the end of the hour, and things just sort of slowing down over here. And
I'm just trying to see if I can find anything interesting. If you go to just Twitter and search hashtag Hurricane Matthew, you can actually find a lot of images and videos showing the surge and the flooding and stuff ongoing with the storm, as well as apparently there's a stork hiding in a bathroom.
Other than Hurricane Sandy, before that, what was the closest hurricanes to come to New England and make landfall? Well, there were several.
Irene?
Bob?
Nah.
Long
Bob.
Island Express. Yeah, there's countless.
Some storms in the 50s.
Like, what time frame are you referring to exactly?
Huh?
What time frame is he referring to?
None. Non-specified.
I would say the other than Sandy, the only real major, devastating impact one I can think of for most of New England is the Long Island Express hurricane, but Irene did actually cause a lot of damage in interior New England.
No, that's not the only one. You got Bob, you got Floyd, you got Irene, you got Floyd.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like major damage, like devastation.
Yeah, Irene was pretty bad. Floyd.
Yeah, I know. It was pretty bad for
all the stuff
interior.
really bad.
Floyd caused real flooding.
And there's a taste of it.
But yeah, Sandy didn't make landfall in New England. New Jersey really isn't count.
But it still did, like,
No, yeah. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the actual impacts. I'm talking about landfall point. But yeah, there's a bunch of hurricanes that have made landfall in the Northeast. It's pretty common, actually.
Oh yeah, I found that photo you were looking for.
Yeah. I could name off a bunch of storms, but I'd rather not stay on topic. So yeah.
David's showing us graphically where the flash flood watch extends to, covering the Outer Banks, and as you can see, several counties inland, and also just about reaching into Virginia, but including Virginia Beach and Norfolk. Flash flood watch is in effect for large parts of the Carolinas and of course Georgia, with those flash flood warnings already in effect for parts of the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, and that's a serious situation. And a flood emergency for the area near, where was it again? I don't remember at this point, but over in Florida, in that area. The flash flood emergency for Egan's Creek, Amelia Island, that's been in effect since 6:32. That is in effect until 9:45. Again, if you're in that area, major storm surge flooding is moving down Egan's Creek on Amelia Island, and that's going to be a bad situation. It's a particularly dangerous situation. Seek higher ground now if you're still there. The tropical storm warning extends as far as Duck in North Carolina, I believe. That's still the case.
Yep. Areas in orange are under a tropical storm warning.
And that includes the Pamlico and Albemarle Sounds.
Apparently in Haiti, besides the fact that 800 or over 800 people are dead, 80% of the buildings leveled in Jeremy.
And that is what, a city in Haiti?
Jereme, yes.
80% level.
How big is that city?
Good question.
And you've got 350,000 in need of assistance.
Yeah. And that's
Oh,
the one
that
we
we
know
have.
about.
Michael's signing off for the night.
Yeah.
And now we have the Bahamas with winds over 140 miles per hour.
I'm gonna have to
It was the most.
I'm gonna have to go now, guys. So
Okay.
I'll be back.
See ya.
I'll be back in a few
The
minutes.
most populated island in the Bahamas got hit for the first time since 1929.
Oh my god.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I thought the same.
And that flooding there looks horrible.
What exactly was that record there?
I have no idea.
The 1929 one.
I'll probably have to look up that.
And
then
you
in
just said it.
Florida
What did
on
you
the
say?
7th, 1929.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I only caught the tail end of it. I didn't know. I thought that was.
Hurricane Matthew was the first hurricane to hit the most populated island of the Bahamas, or I think it's Nassau, since 1929. And in Florida, they've recorded 17 feet or 5-meter waves.
Ooh.
And it could be even higher further north.
Not pretty.
Not fun.
I think we already mentioned it. People are asking, or Terra Grove asked, do you guys think a hurricane in the next 20 years could hit a Category 6?
No, because
Category 6
God,
does not exist.
why are we even talking about that?
Because there's people who think global warming is true and some people think it's global cooling.
There's a lot of diverging opinions on that.
Can we save this discussion?
But that's for another debate.
Debate
Please, let me introduce John before the end of the hour. He's in the room and no one knows his name.
Alright guys, Michael's signing off for the night.
Cheers, Michael.
Alright. What a day today. Today was busy for me. I actually finally got around to looking at Matthew right now. It's down to Cat 2. Okay, that's not too surprising. Land interaction is definitely looking like it's taking its toll. Satellite presentation has decayed.
No, it's not the land interaction, John. It's the wind shear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe a little bit land interaction, but the wind shear. Hey, we're going to talk about this more.
The upper level load that was protecting it is now killing it.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about it in the next hour. We're coming up to 9 o'clock on the East Coast. We'll talk to John in more detail and the rest of the team after this.